Hello everybody and welcome back to Recruiting and Retaining a Strong Core series. Today we will be discussing recruitment best practices. Today's world is an applicant's market. You will get candidates ranging from those wanting to be the one-click applies to those wanting to learn more about Americorps and the mission of your organization. While you are creating your posting, please make sure that it is accessible to all, whether that's in the paper form, on the portal, through an application of your own, or allowing members to submit a resume. Ultimately, all candidates will have to go through the portal to submit a formal application, but consider the challenges in getting there. If you haven't already, please make sure to watch the accessibility webinar. As you begin to consider creating your application or your position posting, please keep a few things in mind. Your heading. Your heading should really grab your reader's attention. Do you want it to say something like the goal of your program, such as teach a child to read, or do you want it to say something like reading tutor? Keep your word limit short, 300 to 700 words. Even shorter if you are trying to reach millennials or Generation Z. Keep your sentences short, 8 words or fewer. Eliminate proverbs like potentially and preferable. Have clear headings between each of your sections. Separate your postings out into different slot types or locations. Be specific about the types of roles, the slot types, and the length of the service year. Have someone review your posting before you post it. Acknowledge your applicant's submission. Either a quick email or a phone call is most likely all that they'll need to know that they're being considered. Review applications frequently. Don't wait more than 3 weeks to consider your applicants. Do this on a rolling basis in order to risk losing applicants to other jobs. Keep accessibility in the forefront. Bold certain words. Make sure your hyperlinks are clear on where they're leading the candidate. Eliminate barriers to allow multiple types of candidates to reach your application. Offer program-specific applications if needed. These could include questions such as how they might live on their living allowance, or why are they committed to doing a year of service. And if possible, include your application or job posting in multiple languages. So where do you advertise your positions? You can obviously do it on the my.americorps.gov portal. You can go on social media, your company's or organization's website. You can go out tabling, or you can engage your network. Let's start by discussing the eGrants or My Americorps portal. There's some great benefits. One, you have to post your listing on here for candidates to be able to officially apply to your program. However, if you are reaching candidates that are already within the portal, they've already created a profile, they have a basic understanding of Americorps, and these candidates are already looking for a service position. However, there are some potential drawbacks to only posting your application on the portal. Anytime you try to post or make an update, you have to know that it may be delayed. The organization or the agency only approves position listings on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. Any sort of an update or a mistake that you'll need to make to your posting will cause a delay in it being active. Have them follow up with an email, your candidate follow up with an email after they've submitted. We hear many applicants say that they think that they've submitted an application, but they've really only completed an online profile. Additionally, the links to your application are not easily distributed, so you can't use the link and put it neatly on a social media post. And once candidates are actually in the portal, they can search around and see other opportunities. And you all know that it is not super friendly, but there is a great tutorial in Basecamp that shows you how to seek out applicants and search for applicants versus having them come to you. So there are many types of social media that you can use to reach out to candidates. These are the ones that we will cover today: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and email. I would highly consider that you research each of these and discuss regionalism with your Americorps team to decide what works best for you and the candidates you're trying to reach. On your social media, whether it is on Facebook or Instagram, make sure that you are doing consistent messaging. A person needs exposure to content from social media 7 times before they register that that's the location that they heard about an opportunity. Although it may seem silly that you would have to post 7 different times, it is still a very effective method for people to hear about your program. Keep your picture and your position description and your organization's content all the same on all of your social media sources. So your banner or your profile picture should be the same on LinkedIn as it is on Facebook, as it is on Instagram. This will make it easier for candidates to find. Continue to do outreach through multiple platforms. Don't just stick with one. And maintain a steady pace of posts. There's algorithms that push certain posts higher at certain times of the day, and whether you've just posted or not. The types of messaging that you can use to engage candidates. The first is informing, the second is engaging, and the third is act now. Informing would be something like a member or alumni spotlight. So you are not only celebrating the wins of your current members and recognizing them, but you're also showing the community what you're doing. Engaging them would be offering some sort of a trivia question or asking them to post a meme about what service means to them. And the act now would be apply now and providing that link to your application. Please try to use multiple languages and videos with captions and alt tabs when you are creating your content online. To use alt tags, you will hover your mouse over an image on a website and a small word will pop up, and those are called alt tags. For somebody who has a visual impairment and uses a screen reader, it helps read the website right out loud. The alt tags are entered and read aloud. So wherever you have an image, make sure that it's captioned and that there is a description on your alt tag. So for this picture, for example, you wouldn't put girl by tree. You would have to explain why the picture is there and the purpose of it. And finally, there are some benefits and drawbacks to organic and paid budgeting. Or organic and paid ads. Make sure that you have that in your budget if you are going to be doing some paid advertisements. You can do a lot with those as far as geofencing and targeting certain populations. So it could be a big benefit, but keep in mind that that candidate needs 7 times before they realize that they heard it from that source. Next is the content you're putting on social media. Consider pictures and infographics. Use sources like Canva, Snappa, Biddable, Thumbtack, and Pictochart. These are all free ways to kind of jazz up your photos and add captions and images. When you use videos, make sure you are captioning your videos and using those alt tags, and try to keep them between 10 and 30 seconds long. Use effective illustrations that follow the branding of the agency. Utilize large, eye-catching pictures and graphics, and limit your typeface to 1 to 2 font choices. Stick to 2 to 3 contrasting or complementary colors, and use a bold, colorful element in design. Including some sort of an image increases your engagement on social media by 200%. You would also want to be able to grab your candidates' attention by using compelling headlines that highlight the key benefits of joining your program, invoke curiosity, or pose a question. You'll want to keep it simple. Use basic language and avoid program jargon or acronyms. Speak directly to your audience. You want your content to feel personal. And include strong call to actions that lead them to either your contact information or the link to your program's application process. Also be sure to include some important deadlines. Below you can see some of our Michigan programs here that have done a phenomenal job at using their social media. We can see videos and recognition and some graphics and some strong call to actions. On your website, make sure to add the social links to the header and footer. Adding the social sharing links and on your position listing in blog articles or in emails you're more likely to get candidates driven right to your social media site. Facebook can be a great tool, and Facebook Live is also a great opportunity for you to highlight your members or maybe a day in the life of an Americorps member. And make sure to use a 12 to 14 word header on Facebook. That gets you the best return on investment. Twitter. Twitter has also recently increased its word limit, and you can now follow people. This has shown that it has better outcomes for job seekers than LinkedIn does. Keep it to an 8 to 12 word header. If you're using TikTok, know that this is generally for a younger generation. This might be a great opportunity for you to provide some Q&A sessions though. Instagram is great with those under 35. You can provide live stories or picture posts. When you use hashtags, make sure that you're using a couple in each post and use them as a supplement to what you're trying to message. On Snapchat, you can use the Service Year Alliance's "This Was My Office for a Year" to highlight members' offices, whether that be a classroom or maybe a nature conservancy. And this helps to inspire people to think outside the box when making decisions about their futures. On all of these, you want to make sure that you're interacting and engaging your audience. If somebody likes something, maybe you go ahead and like something on their page. If they put something in the chat, make sure to respond. Make sure that you're, again, being very personal with what you're providing on your website. Show behind the scenes footage of what your members do. Write an event summary with mentioning people's names. Provide interviews with industry experts and highlight your members. Maybe offer reason number 500 to join your program. Ask your audience to create GIFs or GIFs that represent their service. Ask them to tag a friend who would love your mission. Provide trivia questions and play off timely topics like National Parks Day. The agency has some wonderful templates that programs can use. If you go to Americorps.gov under the communication resources, you scroll down, you will come to this page. You'll see that there are marketing materials, fact sheets, social media materials, and materials that you can have delivered that are more in print. The Michigan Community Service Commission will also be providing templates shortly for programs to use. Here is an example of optimal social media posting for the different types of platforms. So you can see that Facebook, you see, Thursdays between 1 and 3 are best, and Friday is the happiest day of the week. For Twitter, you should try to post Monday through Friday around noon. So these are just some best practices and ways that you will get the highest number of engagement or the highest number of people seeing your post. Here is a sample social media posting schedule. So if you are on all of these, or even some of these, you can use this as a template for when you will be posting. So you can see Sunday, Facebook is the good one, and these are maybe the times you want to post, and it'll go right through the week with you. You don't necessarily have to post right at those times. You can, a lot of these apps and platforms will allow you to schedule when you will post, so you're not having to spend your weekends doing this. On your website, make sure that you are bolding your keywords, you are having a call to action, you make sure that you have watched that accessibility webinar and use the accessibility checker. You can see here, Cherry Hall did a great job. Now accepting applications, apply now in multiple places, or request more info, or they're providing contact information very clearly. If you're using pictures, use those alt tabs. Keep it visually appealing, mobile friendly, and uncluttered. Again, stick with limited fonts and colors. Many are using their phones to apply, so if you do create your own application on your organization's website, make sure that it's mobile friendly. Consider search engine optimization and the keywords that people generally use when looking for jobs. Don't copy the language of anything else or any other websites or documents online, because when people start searching for things and entering those keywords, yours will go to the bottom of the Google queue. Also consider applying for a Google Adwords grant. The Google Adwords grant allows nonprofits to apply for free advertising. Here are some common searches. So I would offer you the suggestion to use maybe your program and application or job or posting and or not, and Google some of those with your organization or program's name to see what comes up. And this is because these are going to be how people are going to be searching for your program. Tabling is a great way to get that personal face-to-face interaction with candidates. It also feels a little bit more personal, and I feel like you're more likely to get those candidates who you've actually talked with. You can find a lot of these tabling events on Handshake if you are looking to find maybe career fairs at colleges, or Event Giant has a list of non-school related career fairs, and there a whole bunch of local community centers usually have a list of tabling events or community events that you may be able to get a table at. Keep in mind that there are costs for a lot of these events. There are entry fees, and then you will likely need to make about a $500 investment for your supplies and startup kit. This might include a table skirt, swag, print materials. If you do decide to do this, make sure you're following the Americorps agency's brand requirements, and that can be found on the Americorps Gov website under Communications. What to bring? Make sure you bring a computer and a monitor to show looped videos. Bring in candy, swag, and printed out position descriptions and a sign-in sheet. This is key. You're going to want to collect the names and numbers of or email addresses of those candidates that stopped by so you can follow up with them. Or better yet, use that computer and monitor and have them text in answers to quiz questions. That way you'll be able to get their contact information and they're more engaged with you. And then there's none of that. Is that an A or an E when trying to look at their signed sign-in sheet? Reach out to candidates ahead of time. Maybe you know some people who have expressed interest already in that area, or you have some alum in the area. Ask them to stop by and bring a friend. Maybe even offer the interview right there at the table, and that might be better than having people just stop by after they walk by. And if you do have candidates that stop by, make sure to listen to what they want. Don't just assume that, oh, this person's going to be really into the education award or the flexible schedule. Listen to what they want and then tailor your message to that. Engage your network. There are lots of ways to engage your network. The first being email marketing. Use that contact list that you've built up, people that have applied in the past to your program, that have stopped by your table, that maybe a number was passed on to you by a current volunteer. 85% of companies use email marketing as their main form of marketing positions. Generally, the best times to email are on Sundays or after 8 p.m. That way when people come into the office first thing in the morning, it's the first thing that they open up. There's a great template and example in the Americorps Recruitment 101 guide. You can use MailChimp or MailMerge in Word to make your message feel a little bit more customized versus just a mass mailing. I would also encourage you to seek out your alumni and ask them to support. Ask them to reach out to their networks and share your opportunity on their social medias. Ask them to refer a friend. I would also reach out to your current members and ask them to spread the word. Talk to career counselors. There might be, a dozen elementary schools in your region that you're trying to recruit within. Make a contact list of all of those career counselors and send them information via email frequently. Put up actual flyers in your community. You'd be surprised how many people actually look at that. There's, again, lots of templates on the Americorps agency website. And finally, ask people to leave Glassdoor reviews. A lot of Americorps programs don't have those Glassdoor reviews, but these can be a powerful tool when people are maybe debating between your position and an outside position. Again, these are just some best practices and tips. I hope that you are able to use some of this. If you do consider to use any of the Americorps tools, make sure that you go to their branding, which is listed as the second link below, and also the Americorps Recruitment Resource Guide has been really helpful in providing some examples of outreach materials. So I highly encourage you to look through that source as well. And good luck!